This crisis is affecting so many people in North America, really around the world. And what people don't realize is that if you don't fix this now, it can really impact you long term. What are we talking about here? Sleep debt, being sleep deprived. I think most people think of this as just, I'm a little tired today, I'll try to catch up tomorrow, no problem. However, the main thing that people don't really see is that when we talk about sleep as a debt or, sleep as something long-term, it really accumulates over time. So we're going to talk about how this impacts us day to day, how medication can help or how medication can actually hurt you long-term, and how lots of things that all of us do, especially first thing in the morning, like my good friend over here or my good friend over here, that it's actually making things a lot worse for us long term. We really need to work on this or we're gonna have trouble. So why is this so bad? What's the big deal? You're a little tired. Well, this is such a big deal because, as you lose sleep, there are cognitive deficits that can happen. And more specifically, while we are asleep, I've been trying to explain this to my 6-year-old who says, "Daddy, I'm not tired." And trying to explain that while we are asleep is when the body goes to work, and it goes to work to recover, repair. That includes physical parts of our body, but that also includes our brain. Our brain is active all day long. And more than ever, we're getting stimulus nonstop between our phones, between screens, the fast-paced life in North America. And this really causes a cognitive deficit that your brain has to recover. And this is when it does it overnight, especially, for instance, during deep sleep, like REM sleep. So it's very important to give your body that time to rest and heal and recover. With that said, we've been doing a lot of talking lately about GLPs and losing weight. And I don't think that a lot of people know that while you rest, it's an important part of your metabolic health. This is when your body digests food that is still in your system, also helps to create energy in your mitochondria for future use. So making sure that you sleep well is also part of your physical health. That includes that sleep deprivation can cause issues with hypertension, or influencing diabetes, your mental health. So it's not just an issue of being tired, okay? It's also an issue of your body is no longer thriving because it's just surviving. So what are you doing? What am I doing? I assure you I'm doing them. What are we doing that is making our problems worse? Well, I think the first and foremost thing that we all know is on our radar these days are phones. Number one, that could mean that the first thing you do when you wake up is you look at your screen. That's not good for us. Number two, it could be that you're doom scrolling at night, okay? And half the times I've caught myself scrolling and thinking, I don't even care as to what I'm looking at, but I'm hooked and I'm trapped. And before you know it, it's 30 minutes later, it's an hour later. Now I'm gonna go to bed. But you didn't really extract anything from that experience, but you did lose valuable sleep. Another thing we're all doing wrong is relying on caffeine first thing in the morning. I know that pretty much, I've told my family, don't even talk to me until I'm halfway through my coffee. As you wake up, your body is trying to ramp up and it's starting to produce cortisol to wake you up naturally. And what we're doing is giving ourselves a little caffeine boost, but often this is it's kind of like putting your body into overdrive. You're adding too much to the system too quick, and the purpose of that for you is that you can get up and go. However, most of us are also finding that come 12 o'clock or 1 p.m., we're having a crash because all of that has now flatlined in our system and our bodies are crashing. Staying up late for no reason. Another huge issue that a lot of us have to remember is alcohol. So alcohol really, it's slowly being proven to be a toxin, and not proven, it is known. It's a toxin for our body. Our body now, when you go to bed, is spending more time and energy trying to clear this toxin versus doing some of these repair and recovery routes that we're trying to do. After drinking alcohol, it can really slow down how you feel when you wake up. It can disturb your gut. It can disturb your mental health. Sometimes it creates inhibition in our bodies, which makes us eat things we normally wouldn't have eaten. It's often late night, which again further disrupts our sleep cycle. Okay, so some of these things that it's nice to have a drink after a long day. However, I would encourage you to have maybe some sort of soothing herbal tea, or maybe, what's that called? Water. You ever heard of water? Very good, hydrates the body, hydrates the brain, helps you sleep and recover well as well. So the next thing that a lot of us are doing wrong is medication. And as a pharmacist, everyone assumes that we're pushing pills, but the reality is that medication is a very valuable resource, and yet sometimes can be part of the problem. So when is it valuable? Well, sleep medication can be valuable when you just can't get to sleep. And maybe you have problems falling asleep, or maybe you have problems staying asleep. So by all means, discuss your sleep needs with your doctor. However, the main things I'd like to alert you about is that there are long-term complications sometimes associated with sleep medication. That is with over-the-counter medication as well as prescription medication. And for the most part, what it comes down to is medication that causes you to be drowsy. It's sedating the brain, it's making you sleepy, it's dulling your cognitive function. Long term, these medications have proved to cause decreased cognitive function. Not so much of a big deal when you're 40 or maybe 50, or even when you're desperate at the age of 60. However, what happens is as you get older, there's two things that we commonly see happening. Number one, you can start to develop some dependency. Number two, you can start to develop some tolerance. So what that means is you can't go without it, and often you need stronger and stronger doses, and even more often, after a certain amount of time, it stops working, you need to try other things. The last problem that commonly happens is as we get older, these sleep medications increase the risk of dementia or Alzheimer's, reduce our cognitive function. That can increase the risk of falls if you're a little bit more drowsy. So they really can have some long-term complications. That kind of sounds more like what's related to prescription medication for sleep. However, a lot of people, they take a Benadryl or they take a Gravol, and it's just over the counter. However, dependency, tolerance, reduced cognitive function, still an issue. And part of the bigger problem is a lot of people don't end up mentioning these issues to their doctor because just an over-the-counter. It's not a big deal. But by the time you're 50 or 60 and you've been doing this for 15, 20 years, that's when all of a sudden I have a problem with sleep that's bigger than me, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to resolve it with some of the natural sleep-related hygiene tips I'm about to give you. So be very wary of just taking anything to make you sleep, especially when it works well, because when it works really well, that means you're more likely to depend on it and use it all the time. And that also means that you're more likely to get handcuffed to using it. What are the things you can do naturally and on a daily basis to promote good sleep hygiene? Natural things you can do, lifestyle things you can do for sleep include going to bed regularly at the same time, even waking up regularly at the same time. Build a routine. It's crazy how much your body thrives on routine. I think it's known that, I kind of feel like 10 o'clock is a good bedtime. Everyone's a little bit different depending on your schedule. However, pick a time, pick a routine. Now, not only is it good to have that interval, but then Before you go to bed, it's good to have a wind down opportunity. So that means staying away from your phone, blue light, scrolling, stimulus, dopamine hits, things that might make you emotional, you know what I mean? So staying off your phone is very valuable, although I know it's very difficult for a lot of us at this day and age. Eliminating not having a TV in your bedroom is very helpful. Keeping your bedroom cool is amazing. You know, one story is that when my daughter was young and we had to sleep train her because she wasn't sleeping through the night, and you know, we were sick of it, we were losing a lot of sleep, so we were going to sleep train her. However, at that time, there was a flood, or there was a water leak in her bedroom. So we pivoted her temporarily to another bedroom. And at that time, that bedroom had no heat. So her bedroom in that room was super cold. You know what happened? She slept through the night. And so from now on, at Sparkle's home, we keep it as an ice box because you sleep better under cool conditions. A cool little hack I learned once to give you the sensation of cooling is a silk pillowcase. Or if you can't do that or don't want to do that, sometimes they make pillows with gel in it, and that helps with the cooling sensation. So keep it cool, stay off your phones, eliminate TV in the bedroom. You basically want to train your brain and your body to understand that once you head into the bedroom, it's time for sleep. So ideally, if you're sleeping at 10 o'clock, my body knows that, oh, step one is, you know, sometimes I like to take a hot shower at night, and I find that that hot shower helps to relax my body. Step two, brushing your teeth, being off your phone, you know, winding down your mind can be very helpful. Meditation or a prayer before bed can be good. Some people like to read. You just want to make sure that you're not reading so much that it's keeping you up. But if you're anything like me, I'm falling asleep if I'm reading a book at night, that's for sure. Okay? And really training your body that, you know, it's like the holy grail, so to speak, which is a coveted act. Going to bed needs to be respected, routine. And with that routine, it becomes basically like muscle memory for your body. Don't discount the benefit of exercise, you know, don't discount the benefit of keeping your mind engaged through the day. So I've definitely found in the past that when I had a lazy day, I'm a bit more restless at night versus if I've been mentally active, if I've been physically active, I'm pooped. So I fall asleep easy, okay? Other things to greatly improve your sleep hygiene include getting natural sunlight first thing in the morning. Now, obviously that helps to wake you up, right? So how is that gonna help me with sleep? Well, as I just mentioned, you're trying to improve your body's recognition of when it's time to sleep and when it's time to wake up. So if you're going to bed at 10 and you're waking up at 7, you know, if at 7 o'clock you're getting natural sunlight, ideally even going for a walk, having some water before coffee, you're training your body to know 10 to 7, 10 to 7, 10 to 7, 10 to 7. And before you know it, instead of needing the coffee fix first thing in the morning to put your system into overdrive, no, your body, because of the light, because of walking, is going to naturally wake up. What that may allow you to do is not have that coffee till 8 or 9 o'clock. It can help to reduce you from needing 2 or 3 coffees and or having that midday crash to just feeling steady all day long, okay? So these things take training. However, sometimes I remind people that what you're doing today is an investment in your future. So if you don't want to be on sleeping pills when you're 80, you may need to learn some of these sleep hygiene routines when you're 50, when you're 40, okay? So you have to practice at these things, and with time it gets better. The other thing that's very valuable for sleep hygiene is solve the actual problem. So if you have pain because of whatever reason, whether it's arthritis or recent surgery or you've got chronic pain. Well, if you can't sleep at night because of the pain, now you're taking sleeping pills. Well, what you really want to do is tackle the real problem. Tackle your mental health or tackle the pain, because you don't want to add a new problem to your life by also starting a sleep medication where what you really needed to do was take 2 Tylenol. Okay? So address the problem and go from there. Some people in the past have also benefited from weighted blankets. So here at Sparkle, we've sold weighted hush blankets. You know, for some people, that extra weight on the body helps to create, you know, a calming sensation for your nervous system. Some people, you know, making sure your room is very dark. So some people either make sure you have blackout curtains or you can wear an eye mask. Some people snore. So if your loved one snores, maybe having earplugs so that you can dull the sound can be helpful. Some people enjoy a sound machine. I know my wife and I sometimes, when it's time for bed, if we're still kind of alert, we'll put like a sound machine that has the sound of either white noise or rain. So find these little hacks for your sleep hygiene, and I can guarantee with long-term commitment to improving your sleep hygiene, you will find improvements in your sleep. It doesn't always solve everything, but it can greatly either A, improve the quality of your sleep, or B, at least eliminate or reduce the need for medication. So if I don't need to start those sleep aids for another 10 years, then I've done my body well, okay? Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. By all means, if you have any questions, please let me know. If there's anything you've done that greatly improved your sleep hygiene, let me know, comment below. I would love to hear what people are doing. As a little side note, you know, some people ask me about, well, what about napping? You know, I wake up at 5, sometimes I'm tired. You know, napping can be okay, but it can be a little bit of controversy around that. So the main thing I suggest around napping is if you are blessed enough to be able to take a nap, hey, take your nap. However, it shouldn't affect your nighttime sleep. With that said, if you are napping, don't nap for 2 hours. I remember I used to take, you know, long 2-hour naps, and sometimes you wake up even more groggy than when you went to bed. So if you are gonna have a nap, you know, a 20-minute power nap can be quite effective. I think I read something one day that said some of the big CEOs in the world, you know, they take a 20-minute schloof midday and they're sharp as ever. So if you wanna take a nap, just keep it short. Also, ideally, nap earlier in the day. So you don't wanna be napping at 5 p.m., but maybe you wanna have a nap around 1 o'clock. Now, if you've built that into your routine and it's not affecting your night's sleep and you don't need sleeping pills to help you at night, then it's not a problem. However, if you're taking a nap during the day and then you need a sleeping pill at night, well, it sounds like you need to clean that up.